All right, welcome to lecture 4, part B. So more converting. Oh, today is all converting. And on this one, we're going to look at converting with mixed units. So in part B. So what the heck do I mean by mixed units? Well, let's flip over and do an example. So a mixed unit, what I mean by that is really some numbers have really two units on them. Like for example, I have a CRV that I drive, a Honda CRV. And when I look down at the dashboard and I want to figure out, what kind of economy I'm getting for my mileage of my car, it tells me that there's a little readout that tells you, like, as I drive down the road, I'm getting so many miles per gallon. So normally, it's kind of an old car, so the mileage it's not terrible, but it's not great. So it's like 23.6 is what it might say. Miles is how I get what I get per gallon. So miles per gallon, 23.6 miles per gallon. So that's how efficient my car is. Now, if I wanted to talk to somebody in another country about how efficient my car was, how many miles per gallon I get, well, they're not going to tell me, they're not going to know anything about miles per gallon if I go down to South America or I go to Europe or something, right? Instead of miles, what are they used to thinking in? They're used to thinking in kilometers. They're used to thinking in kilometers. Now, similarly, they're not going to talk about gallons. Like in a lot of other countries, they don't know what a gallon is. They never use gallons, right? You go to France or someplace, they don't know what a gallon is. So they're going to talk about how many kilometers per, not per gallon, how many kilometers per liter a car gets. So let's say I was talking to my friend in another country and I wanted to brag about how awesome my car is. And I told him it gets 23.6 miles per gallon. And I wanted to say, well, they say, well, how many kilometers per liter is that? Well, we could do that. So this is a converting problem, right? But the only difference, and the reason why it's getting a little tougher, is that it's actually two converting problems. We're going to have to spend a little effort getting miles to kilometers. Then we're going to also spend a little effort getting gallons to liters, gallons to liters. So it's really going to be two problems in one. So I'm going to worry about getting the top part right, gallons to kilometers, and then I'm going to worry about getting the bottom part right. I'm sorry, miles to kilometers. And then I'm going to worry about getting the bottom part right, gallons to liters. So let me go ahead and set it up. And, same idea. Got to get units to cancel, put it in opposite blank so the units cancel out until you end up with the units we want. So step one, write down your beginning number and unit. 23.6 miles per gallon. Write down the unit you're trying to go to. I am trying to go to kilometers per liter. Now in the middle, we'll put our conversion factors. Now, might need more than one even, all right? So I left a little room because I think we'll probably need a couple at least, all right? So I got a little extra room here. All right, so let's find our conversion factors. For right now, don't even think about the bottom part. The gallons to liters, just put it out of your mind. Let's just worry about miles and kilometers. Is there a conversion factor to help me to go from miles to kilometers? All right, do you see one? I see one. I see one. It is right here. 1 mile is 1.61 kilometers. So let's jot that down. Let's jot that down. I'm going to put it down here. 1 mile is 1.61 kilometers. So that'll help us get the top part right. That'll help us get the miles, oops, sorry, got to switch pins, to kilometers. That's what that does. Now, we're not going to be done because we still got to do the bottom part. We're going to need to also go from gallons to liters. So we need another conversion factor that relates the bottom units. And there is one. Let me help you out with that one. It's under the volume side. It's right here. A gallon is 3.785 liters. So let's jot that down. 1 gallon is 3.785 liters. All right, so I'm on my way. I got my my units, and I got the conversion factors. So step 2, find the conversion factors. Well, we just found them. All right. So let's go ahead and now we got to use them, right? Now, when we use them, it's the same idea. Get rid of the units you ain't wanting anymore. Get to the units you do want. So the way to do that is to cancel them out. Now, let's do the top part. Let's get the miles to kilometers. So, same idea. If you have miles here, oh, let me do this. If you have miles here and you want miles to go away, where do you put it? Opposite blank on the bottom. You put it on the bottom right here. So I'm going to write 1 mile on the bottom. And I'm looking at this conversion factor. The other side goes on top, the 1.61 kilometers. Okay, now if I stopped right now, what unit would I be in? I would be in, let's see, what would I be in? Miles would cancel. I'd be in kilometers per gallon. So the top part is right. I have kilometers, I want kilometers. But I still got to work on the bottom part. I don't want gallons. I want to switch it to liters. Now this is where we got to be a little careful. This is going to be a little different. If you have gallons on the bottom and you want it to cancel, because I want it to be liters. If you want gallons to cancel, where would gallons need to go to cancel? On top. Gallons would need to go on top. So I'm going to put gallons on top. See, that's going to work because one thing on top, one thing on bottom, that's opposites. That's going to cancel. Okay? All right. So with that, let's keep going. We have gallons here. We have gallons here. So then what I would do is I would, wherever gallons are, I put 1. Look at that conversion factor. And then you put the 3.785, the opposite side of that, on the bottom. All right, so is that going to work? I hope so. Gallons are here, and gallons are here. If they're on top and they're on bottom, they cancel out. They go away. So now I think we're going to work out, right? Look at what units I'm left with. They're the ones I wanted. Kilometers and liters. Oh, yeah, that matches up with what I wanted. So I'm okay. I'm done. So now you just got to get into your calculator, right? 23.6 times 1.61 divided by 3.785. Now, I know the answer, but I don't know the entire answer. I have to work it out again. 23.6 times 1.61 times 1 doesn't really matter. Divided by 1 doesn't really matter. Divide by 3.785. That matters. This is what your calculator is going to say. I'm going to write the answer with all the ridiculous number of sig figs. All right, how would you round that answer correctly? Okay, I gave you 3, didn't I? This number has 3, so I'd want 3 in my answer. Remember, conversion factors are exact values. So I hope you're going to think you're going to write 10.0, 10.0, I should say. All right, so that's one example. I'm going to show you one more, just to hopefully make it a little more sense. It always helps to see a few, right? So let me flip over and we'll just take a try at one more. So I got to flip to the next page for our second example of this. Okay, let's try one more. So again, I'm going to kind of think about a little gauge I see on my car. So another gauge I see on my car, it tells me how fast I'm going, right? So you look down at the speedometer and it tells you how fast you're going. So if you think about that unit, right? It says you're going 30 or 50 or 90. You know, what are the units on that? The units on that are, I'm going 30 miles per hour. Like it might say, that would be the units, miles per. So per is like over, per is like a line, per hour. I'll write HR. All right, now, I live in Santa Barbara, so I have to drive all the way to Ventura. Normally, I haven't been doing that much recently. but to get to work, right? So when I drive, sometimes it's early in the morning, there ain't nobody on the road. So, you know, I go a little fast because I got a lot to do, man. So I might be driving down the freeway. Let's say I'm going 83 miles per hour. How fast would that be in feet per second? How fast would that be in feet per second? So this is another problem where I got to convert 2 units. This is a mixed problem, right? The top unit ain't what I want. I want to go from miles to feet. And then I don't like the bottom unit either. The hours, I don't want to know per hour. I want to know per second, feet per second. How many feet do I go in a second? So to go, I would also have to take the bottom one and convert it, hours to seconds. So this is another one where we're going to have to do 2 steps. We're going to have to do 2 problems, okay? So miles to feet, that'll be the first bit, and then hours to seconds, that'll be the second bit. So we'll worry about the top. Once it's matching up, start worrying about the bottom. All right, so same process though. Write down your beginning number and unit, 83 miles per hour. Write down your ending unit, feet per second. In the middle, I should say, we're going to put some conversion factors, and we're going to need a few, I have to say. I think it's not going to be something you can do in one step, so I got plenty of room, right? All right, so let's see if you can help me. What are we going to use to get the top one right? Miles to feet. Oh, there's one right here. 1 mile is 5,280 feet. Let's jot it down. Let's jot it down. 1 mile is 5,280 feet. All right, we can use that. That's going to help us out, right? That's going to get it from miles to feet. Oh yeah, we got a way of doing that now. Now we also need to get the bottom part right. Hours to seconds. So I have to say I didn't put on this handout any time ones because I just figured, you know, you guys look at clocks all day, right? You're looking at a clock all the time, probably waiting for these videos to be over. I don't know. So you're always looking at a clock. So I mean, you probably know how time is really like we could come up with a couple here. Let's say 1 hour is what, 60 minutes, I think. And what else can we use? Oh, 1 minute is 60 seconds. All right. So we could use those two to get us from hours to minutes, and then we'll do another one, minutes to seconds. Okay, now that should work. Now if you look, I think I'm gonna need 3 conversion factors. I can get the top part right in 1, miles to feet. The bottom one, I'm gonna go hours. Oh, wrong pen. I'm gonna go from hours to minutes. Oh yeah, this guy. And then minutes to seconds. Oh yeah, this guy. So that means you're going to use 3 conversion factors. You actually need 3 sets of blanks. All right, so let's see if we can get it done. Let's see if we can get it done. So same idea as before, right? You're going to get the unit to cancel until you end up with the one you want. So miles. Let's make miles cancel out. If you're going to make the miles cancel out, what number goes on the top right here? Let's say it that way. What number goes up here? If I want miles to cancel, what goes up top here? What's going to go on top there? Let's look at my conversion factor. Miles is there. Put miles on the bottom. That means the number on top has to be 5,280 feet. Oh, that looks good because miles cancels and we have feet. All right, so with that, what about moving on? So hold on one second. Okay, I had to take a little note about something. Okay, so what would we want to do next, right? If we stop right now, feet is good. We got feet on top. So the next thing we need to do is we got to get the bottom part right. Hours. Oh, I don't want hours. I got to get rid of hours. So if hours is on the bottom, how do you make it cancel? You put it on top. It's opposite. Always opposite. So hours should be up here. And then all the numbers just kind of fall into place. If you look at the units, focus on the units, and then the numbers just kind of fit. So hours, I just stuck it on the top. That means I got to stick the 1 on the top. And that means that on the bottom, I'm going to stick 60 minutes. Okay, should look like that. Now, okay, let's see where we're at. Hours is gone. Bye-bye. So now we have minutes. Don't want minutes on the bottom. Oh, I got to get to seconds. One more step. How are we going to do that? Oh, minutes is down the bottom. Make minutes go away. Make minutes go away. You put minutes on the top. Oh, yeah, that'll cancel. And then we're using our last conversion factor. The 1 minute would go on top. The 60 seconds goes on bottom. It should look like that. All right. So with that, minutes cancels. All right. So with that, if you work it out and you round, I think I gave you 2 sig figs. If you work it out, you can try it on your calculator. 83 times 52, 5,280 divided by 60. And then you need to divide by 60 again. You got to divide twice by 60. Divide, because there's 2 60s on the bottom or whatever. If you work it out correctly, you should be getting an answer about 120 feet per second. So this is why you don't want to text while you're driving. In 1 second, if you're going this fast on the freeway, you're speeding on the freeway, and you look down at your phone for 1 second, you are 120 feet further down the freeway. That is what? In 3 seconds, you've gone a football field. All right, or more than a football field. All right, so that, yeah, so right, you got to pay attention because you're covering a lot of ground quick. 120 feet per, or we could say in 1 second. All right, great. Hopefully this makes sense. If not, of course, I'm here to help you. That's my job, right? So contact me, get some help. There's no harm in that. All right, in this video, there's one more kind of problem we're going to go over, and that'll be in part C. Let's get to it.